Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome. Welcome in. Let's pull all of you fabulous, amazing humans up. Oh my God, goodness gracious. Welcome to our show. We are starting off on episode 10. We got a good show again. Episode 10. We got a good show again. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling? How's your heart? How's your mind? How's your soul? How's your body? How are you? How are you? Hello, hello. I had this really great analogy come through today in one of my classes, in our 40-day class. I want to talk about it a little bit. I don't think there's anything more important to talk about every day, all day, right now, other than unraveling, continuing to unravel what we are in, understanding it, remembering how to get through it. And the number one tool that we have to get through this. Um, they are not aligned. Oh, they are not aligned at the moment. Um, heart and mind are not aligned. Heart and soul are not aligned. Also, send me your questions in the chat box, and I will start answering some of your questions as I do this. I'm realizing people are so used to me going live on Tuesdays um, that people don't know yet that we are on Wednesdays. We are on Wednesdays. Um, so we will just have to let God put out the call. So I was in our 40-day class today and I was thinking about this. This analogy came in. I want to share it with all of you of this petri dish. Someone was kind enough to remind me, Lorie, the petri dish is a closed circuit. And we live in a open circuit. Yes, this is true. This is very true. We live in a quantum field where all possibility is available. But for the sake of what I want to talk about today, we're going to think about a petri dish. If you don't know, God is so amazing. If you don't know what a petri dish is, it's these little dishes that you stick like you look at it through a microscope and you can see come on you guys, what's the word I'm looking for? Um you can see little things running around, like you can see parasites, or you can see what's the words? Anyway, you can see things that are like running rampant in this petri dish. You use a little microscope and all this like yucky mucky stuff's in there. And I see the world kind of like that right now. I mean, of course, when I go outside, I'm looking outside, I'm like, it's freaking beautiful. I love life. I love real, tangible, organic life. Um, but if you go online, there's a lot of yucky mucky petri dish type stuff being shown to us. It's like we thought we were living in some beautiful oasis, and then you look inside the petri dish and you're like, "Oh, wow. There's a lot of stuff I've been standing in." You know, humanity has to wake up. Unfortunately, they have to wake up to what they're in. So we have to watch, the Epstein files come out, and we have to watch the wars. We have to watch all these really horrible things happen because we have to continue to understand um, that what we are in is not the natural state of being. We have to begin to see more and more, and we are only at like layer 3. There's like 300 layers that we have to get to. We've just begun kind of peeling back the layers, and the whole purpose of the unraveling of the petri dish, looking around and saying, "Excuse me," is that we have to be able to understand that the way we've been living, this programmed, robotic, unconscious state of being in almost all capacities of our life um, has to be shown to us. And the way it's shown to us is through all of these things that we're seeing right now happen in the world and that we'll continue to see. We will continue to see things that will rattle us, that will confuse us, that will make us want to run and hide, and we have to be able to stand in all of it. I don't know about you, but it's a lot right now. It feels, um, there are moments where it feels too much, almost like there's like an energetic fight for my peace. There's an energetic fight for my mind. There's an energetic fight for my peace. There are days where I literally feel like I am fighting energies just to keep my aligned state. I've never experienced anything like what we're experiencing on the planet right now, where it truly feels like an energy and I am energetically battling something that I can't see. Um, like there even yesterday I was in such uh, a angst around it. And I feel like I'm screaming at something that isn't even there. Like, get out of my mind, get off of me, get away, like, shut up. Right. And there's nothing actually there other than the energies that are constantly inundating us. And so we have to practice over and over while we're in the normal everyday life of navigating finances and health and relationships and the actual realness of life, like what's actually happening when I go outside, right, when I'm walking around, when I wake up in the morning, like what is actual real life like. um that is we have to learn how to do this in the mundane everyday situation. It only happens in the mundane. It only happen all of this only happens in mundane. It doesn't happen in some retreat center. It can't. It doesn't happen in some advanced state that bring yourself to. It can't. It doesn't happen when you're on, ayahuasca. It can't. It doesn't happen when you are, able to go on vacation and find yourself like, "Oh my god, life is so good." It has to happen in the everyday, mundane life, and it has to happen in every moment of it. It has to happen in the moments where you want out. It has to happen in the moments where you're fed up. It has to happen in the moments where you are in stress and anxiety and worry and fear and pain. It doesn't just happen. What we are training for doesn't happen just in these beautiful moments, in the moments where we appreciate life, in the moments where everything's going well, in the moments where we have enough money to pay for everything. It has to be tested in the moments where it's most challenging, which is kind of everyday life for a lot of people. It has to happen then. It has to happen like it was yesterday for me, where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? Like I can't be in this. And then I wake up the next day and it's like, oh yeah, this is great. Everything's great. All is well. Nothing's combating my mind right now. And so understanding, peeling back and understanding even more what we're in, what we are truly fighting against. And we will start realizing more and more it's this energetic buzz. We have conspiracy theories that really just turn out to be truths that people can't grasp right away. So, because it seems so outlandish, they call it a conspiracy theory. They can't grasp that that could be a reality, that they can't grasp that that could be a truth. So, instead of saying, oh, that's fake, we call it a conspiracy theory. And so, a ton of conspiracy theories continue to be proven true. And so one of the theories that's really going to blow our minds is when we finally find ourselves peeling back one of the curtains in the game and realizing that this is not run by satanic pedophiles, that this is not run by evildoers. Um, this is actually not even run by reptilians. What's going to blow our minds is when we realize that this has been run by frequency, almost like there are these non human creatures of sort that are here, but not here. We can't physically see them, right? And they've got this joystick and they're messing with frequency. And when you mess with frequency, you can mess with human minds. You can mess with human connection, energetic connections. You can control humanity's perceptions. You can control humanity's behaviors. And you can convince an entire planet of what's real and what's not real. And so I believe what's really going to blow our minds is that we've we are just at the it's like we have all these ideas of what's happening, but even that is keeping us in the illusion or in the game. So eventually we will find out what is truly the inception point of all of this, which I believe is frequency. I believe it's controlled by frequency. I believe it's run by frequency. And I believe it is frequency that's controlling us. So, what do we do with that? So, bring up anything you're dealing with right now, right? Bring up an issue you have. Somebody bring up an issue they have. I'm going to show you how it's, um, I'm going to show you how frequency works. Somebody give me something you're dealing with. Garden and birds. Yes. Can I have a garden and birds? I'm waiting. Anyone? Okay. No one wants to enter anything. Oh, anxiety, chronic illness. Okay. Well, they're both, let's do anxiety because a lot of people have anxiety. Okay. So, Joshua Brown, 4834. You've got anxiety. Half the planet has anxiety. And I want you to first let's peel back anxiety. So what is anxiety? Anxiety is an energy. Okay, so if we peel away the word anxiety, when you experience anxiety, you're experiencing energy. Okay, and what does that energy feel like? Well, anxiety makes you feel unsafe. It makes you feel like you're trying to figure out the future, right? You want to know what's coming, unstable, out of control. The body feels weird, right? There's a lot of different ways that we can describe the energy of anxiety, but it's an energy. Okay, now this energy is a frequency. All energies are frequencies. A frequency is an energy. Okay, now stay with me. Imagine that there are these beings that have a remote control and they are shifting the frequency on this planet through the Wi-Fi or the computer. Obviously, you guys all know this, but I'm going to dissect it so that you can actually do something with it instead of just being like, oh, yeah, they're controlling us. So stick with me. Anxiety is an energy, which is a frequency. Okay. Now, we've been taught and programmed that here's how you heal, here's how you fix, here's how you navigate anxiety, right? You breathe in and breathe out. You calm the nervous system by going outside. You blah blah blah. So you can read this book and here's some techniques. There's all these things that we can do. I'm going to have us bypass all of that. Here's how we're going to do that. But you can use anything. If you're struggling with something else, just insert that instead of anxiety, because everything you're dealing with is an energy. Everything you're dealing with is a frequency. Okay, so here's these beings, and they've got this remote control, and they are pumping in these frequencies onto the planet, and they're using our phones, they're using TVs, they're using our computers, our iPads, they're using maybe the sky, they're using food. Who knows what they're using? Okay. These are not humans. They're outside of human understanding, and they're inserting frequency into what we consume. Okay. Now, if you consume what it is that they are inserting casually, unbeknownst to you, your body is going to experience that frequency. Now, what we do is we're like, oh, this gave me anxiety. I'm about to go on a job interview and that gave me anxiety. Or this is these things we have a way of understanding anxiety. But what I'm going to share is that anxiety is pumped up or injected so that it is more intense as this spiritual battle and warfare goes on. And so there's this injection of what we normally would experience every once in a while. Like, I'm going to a job interview and I feel anxious about this. Like, okay, that's normal. The amount of anxiety that this planet is feeling right now is not normal. It is an injection of frequency that you are consuming unbeknownst to you. You think you're just watching a TV show or watching your friend on YouTube here, whatever it is. But underneath it, behind it, is a frequency. And that frequency is creating a charge within your own energetic field that we label as anxiety. Chronic disease is the same thing. Fear is the same thing. Depression is the same thing. What else? Insecurity. It's all frequency. Now, because we've been programmed to believe that it comes from something, it comes from my past, it comes from my trauma, it comes from my lineage, it comes from my ancestors, it comes from somewhere. We have a reason for it. But what if I were to share with you that none of that matters anymore on the planet? You could heal your ancestral wounds for the rest of your life, and you will still be experiencing the same sort of stuff until you realize that it's a frequency battle. That everything right now is a frequency battle. Okay, now from that place, tire addiction is a frequency battle. They are literally, it's almost like this is a game to them. And they're kind of like, wow, look at what else we can do. I know this sounds crazy, but like I said, like all conspiracy theories, in the beginning, they sound crazy. Almost all conspiracy theories in the beginning sound crazy. I remember 9/11, the day of 9/11, I was like, oh, our government did that. And 99.9% of humanity said, you've lost your mind. There's no way the government would do that. There's no possible way. Majority of people. I was like, oh God, no. Okay. So anyway, the point is that we are going to see these things as craziness until it actually is revealed to us. What I'm sharing will be revealed a while down the road. Okay, so back to what were we talking about? Addictions. They throw these in, and I'll get to anxiety, and I'll get to the what we're doing, how do we get through this? But they're playing with this little joystick game. And if you understand frequency, you can shift a frequency and an energy is created from that frequency. You can create or destroy a lot of different things in an energetic field through frequency. You can shift it, alter it. And with addictions, addictions, of course, are demonic parasitic energies. But where do demonic parasitic energies come from? They're energies, they come from the energetic world. And so if there is an energetic battle within your mind and there's this infiltration of frequency that's telling you to do the addiction, and you're thinking that you need to heal some sort of trauma, which of course we have been born into believing that that's the root cause of it, right? But if it's actually frequency, then it becomes, well, how do I combat the frequency? Same with anxiety. Well, if I know that it's a frequency and that everything that I've been doing on this planet isn't going to work any longer because now it's not about that. It's literally about the frequency battle. Well, then how do I get rid of the how do I heal or release the anxiety? So you were playing a different game now if you're willing to jump on board with me and you're willing to see this battle from a different perspective, you might actually be able to navigate in a different way what we're in. Because, see, what's going to happen is the old ways that we've been dealing with this world aren't going to work anymore. I've been saying this for about a year and a half. It's going to continue. What we've been doing to get through our life is not going to work anymore. And the reason is because it is actually a frequency battle that has been amplified tenfold this past year, year and a half. And the more that we awaken to what's happening, the louder the frequency battle becomes. This is why you're going crazy in your mind. This is why your body is so out of whack. This is why you literally can't figure out what's going on, but you know something's going on, but you have no idea what it is that's going on. This is why you can't sleep at night. This is why your addictions are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like literally everything we're experiencing right now that we think are something we have to heal or fix or figure out, it's a frequency battle. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, if I were to ask you right now, what is what's the highest possible frequency that you could imagine? What's the highest possible frequency? Yeah, everything's too much right now. It's because there's an overload. Imagine your body's just being inundated with all these different frequencies all day long, and you don't even realize it, right? You're just like, what is going on? What's the highest frequency? What's the most pure light you could imagine? And light is energy. Light is frequency. What's the purest light? Being with God, joy, peace, peace. Yes. Okay. Pure love. How come so many people are just going about their business? Well, they're going about their business, but we don't really know what's going on inside their world. You know what I mean? We don't really know what people are experiencing or what they're feeling. We really don't. Um, and a lot of people are doing their best to just survive. And so they're going to just do anything they can to just survive, really. But everyone's feeling this in some capacity. So the highest light, the purest, highest light that we can access is God's light. Nothing can pierce it. Nothing can pierce the light of God, which is the light that we all go back to when we pass. It's that light that everyone sits at when they have a near death experience and they don't want to leave it and it calls them in. We have access to that light right now. By the way, you don't have to do anything to access it. You don't have to take DMT or ayahuasca or anything else. You don't have to prepare your body. There is absolutely you can be as messed up as you could be so messed up in the head and you have access to this. The light of creation, of creator is the highest, purest, divine light and frequency that we have access to. It cannot be manipulated. So therefore, if this is a frequency battle, okay, those frequencies cannot penetrate, change, infiltrate, or manipulate God's light. Now, stay with me. You've got anxiety, you've got fear, you've got depression, you've got addictions. What else do we have? Lack. Uh, I don't know, you name it. Illness. All of it. It's in the body. All of it is in the body, correct? Okay. If you start believing what I'm saying, finally, for the 18,000th time and then some, and you start to bring this light, the pure divine, only that pure divine light, not a light from an angel, not a light from God, a star system, a galactic being, no, pure divine Holy Spirit light of God, and you bring it in, and you just keep bringing it in. You keep inviting that tangible light in. What's going to happen in your body? What's going to happen in your body? So you start bringing this light in consciously. You don't necessarily know if it's happening, but you're choosing this intent. This is your intention. And if you choose it, it's happening. Okay? So it's absolutely happening. Just like you can't tell the frequencies are coming in. You have no idea. You just feel something, right? It's the same thing with the light of God. So if this light starts to come in, what's going to happen to the inside of your body? What's going to happen to all the things that are in here? The anxiety, the illness, the worry, the depression, the addictions. If you're pulling in the purest, most divine light that cannot be manipulated or infiltrated, what's going to happen? What you're feeling will be consumed by the light of God. Slowly, slowly, what you're experiencing begins to be consumed by the light of God. God takes it. And guess what else happens? You begin to recognize not only who you are, because you're finally feeling it, but you can't be manipulated by the frequencies in the same way. You start to wake up to the actual frequency battle that you're in. Not because you do all of these fancy things, but because you are simply bringing in, choosing to breathe this pure divine essence light in. Now, let's go back to the game for a second. These beings out here with the little remote controls, binging all the frequencies in. The last thing they want you to remember is this. They don't care if you connect to God. They don't care if you understand God. They don't care if you're like, oh no, I'm God inside here and I am one with everything and I am whole and complete. They could care less if you sit in church all day long. What they don't want you to recognize is that this pure divine light is alive, real, tangible, and the second it starts to come into your body as a very real, tangible, alive presence, it will change you. And they will not be able to infiltrate you. It will they will lose control. So again, if you read about God, if you sit in church and just talk to God, if they could care less how you understand God, so long as you are not understanding what actually works, which is our divine nature, which is this energetic pulling in of a tangible, visceral light that you start to feel. You start to, and it takes daily practice. Why does it take daily practice? Because we are being inundated with energies and frequencies and noises and sounds and stories and everything other than the ability to slow down, get quiet, and align with this. In fact, everything is speeding up to such a degree that the last thing we're doing is finding silence. In fact, nobody wants to sit quietly. Nobody wants to believe that it's this easy. Nobody wants this easy solution. They want excitement, entertainment. They want complexity. They want to know the horrible things that are going to happen in a year. They want to know, like, nobody wants to just sit quietly and say, "Huh, maybe it is this light that I have to literally drink into my body every day." We're so conditioned. But here's what I encourage you to start thinking about. If you think I'm wrong, think about this going forward. Everything that you've been trying to fix or heal in your life, all the ways that you've been doing it, does it work and is it working? How long in your life have you been trying to fix life? How long has it felt like you've been trying to heal life? That you've been in a battle for some sort of, like, if it's not one thing, it's another thing. And then when that thing's gone, it's another thing. That is not, pay attention to that. That's how we live. We are constantly trying to find solutions to fix ourselves. And we are now being inundated with so much information on how to be in this world, none of which is just sitting with God, but we are inundated to such a capacity that we don't even really know what's true to us. We don't even have the time or the space to sit and say, what feels true? We're just inundated with something else, and then with something else, and then with something else. It's nonstop. You don't even have time to sit and say, let me process this. Let me see if this makes sense to me, if this resonates with me. It's just, you're on to something else, and then something else. And meanwhile, all the while, as you're arguing about these things or trying to figure these things out or discussing all of the really horrific things that are happening or whatever we're doing in this phase, and then we're trying to fix and heal ourselves from this phase, we've got these remote control being things injecting this entire planet, injecting the small group of families that own this entire planet. They're run by frequency. They're fed off frequency. So here's the other thing about the frequency game. When you have fear, we already know this, but let's now plug this into the frequency game that we're in. If you're responding to the world with fear, then you are feeding that frequency. If you respond with the addiction, you're feeding that frequency. If you respond with the anxiety, with more anxiety, you're feeding that frequency. Now, what happens when we start to courageously choose to instead bring in the light of God? Even by just saying, I'm bringing in the light of God. I'm breathing in the light of God. God. The light of God is moving through me. The light of God is moving through me. I promise you, the more you do it, the more it's actually going to happen. And when that happens, when you start doing that more and more and more and more and more, stop trying. You stop trying to get rid of the anxiety or whatever else you're in, whatever else you're battling, all of it. You don't need to get rid of it because that light does it somehow on its own. It's magic. You start realizing like, then this is none of this is all very inorganic. This is all not right. Like the planet should not feel right now. We should be saying something is very off. You could say I am the light of God 100%. Whatever you like to say that reminds you that God's coming into you. It's not just enough. This triggers a lot of people. Lots of people have literally stopped listening to me and hearing me because they don't like this, but it's not just saying I am God is not enough. It hasn't changed us yet. I am God, I am God. It's not you have to bring in this tangible light. You have to literally consciously choose to bring in this light. This light used to come into our human bodies thousands of years ago, over 7,000 years ago, when the planet first started, about 15,000 years ago, the planet started in the third dimension. And when it did, humanity began completely connected to Creator. And so there was this constant flow of this light moving into the human body. And so even though we were in a third dimension with amnesia, so we completely forgot, we still were connected. So we still had the ability to slowly begin to remember who we are and to breathe it through us. 7,000 years ago, these beings, these hybrid beings, these races came in, and these beings that are with the remote controls and the frequency literally blocked, energetically blocked our physical vessels and our channel to that creation, that light. When it did that, it cut us off. Now, of course, we are always connected to God because we are an aspect of God. We are an aspect of God, therefore, we are never disconnected or separate from God. But in this game, the energetic cord in this game of human, the energetic cord that connects the physical body to the creator was lodged, like a block, a piece of wood was put in it, frequency wise, so that we would forget. The only way you'll know if what I'm saying is true or not is you'll start doing it. If you start doing it, you'll realize I'm right. I'm so confident about this that I know it's true because I've been feeling it. I'm experiencing it. What happens is that you start to feel a sense of God in a way that you never have before. And then this God comes in and starts to slowly change your entire life and remind you of who you are. It activates the God particle, your divine genome within you. It's what all of the closest disciples of Jesus figured out. It's what he taught them, that God is inside of you. What he taught is the Holy Spirit has to come in. The Holy Spirit, the light of God has to come in. There's a reason he taught that. He taught how to deprogram the mind. The reason he taught about deprogramming the mind is because the mind is where the frequencies come in and infiltrate and convince you. It's always been this simple. It's just not our fault that we've completely forgotten. We've completely forgotten that, yes, God is inside of us. But hey, before you try to go searching for it, I hate to tell you this, but for some reason people they don't want to admit this or like this, but you got to actually start bringing that light back in. There's been a massive infiltration, which is why we haven't really evolved in the last 7,000 years the way we should have if we were divinely connected to this God light. If we are God inside of us, shouldn't we have been evolving much differently than how we have, even with infiltration? I'm going to tell you again, the light of God cannot be infiltrated. The light of God is so pure and so powerful, so strong, it cannot be manipulated. The light of God is so profoundly omnipresent that no infiltration of any frequency can wreck it. So if I am God, if I'm the light of God, why am I being so infiltrated? Why am I being so manipulated? Why, over the last 5, 4, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 years, why has very little changed? Why are we still in wars? Why are we still killing people? The answer is we have been disconnected from that creation, that light. And it's not that God's light uh, hasn't tried to come in. Our awareness needs to open up into it to invite it in. Our awareness needs to say, wait a second, hold on a second, hold on a second. The light of God, the light of God, the light of God, the light of God, the light of God. Hold on. We're doing everything else but that. One of the greatest teachings Jesus taught was bringing in the Holy Spirit. What do you think he meant by the Holy Spirit? And I'm not talking religion. The Holy Spirit, holy, God, spirit, light. So if we come back to Joshua, who has the anxiety, the whole world who's been infiltrated with anxiety, you could say, well, I've had it my whole life. And I would say, well, the anxiety you're feeling now is very different. And I would also say it's probably exponentially increased. And it's probably coming out of nowhere now for no apparent reason, like most of the things that we're dealing with. And I would say that it's happening because there's a frequency battle where there are these beings that you will never see that are literally infiltrating our entire planetary field with frequencies that create these things that we're feeling inside of us. And they're doing it through all the things that we consume. Consumption is how we are consuming the frequencies. So then I would say to you, well, what's the solution? The solution is the light of God into your body. Plug into that and it will go away. Can't be that easy. Try it. Try it. When you start to feel anxiety, when you start to feel lack, when you start to feel sick, when you start to feel rageful, when you start to feel depression, when you start to feel um, your addictions come in. Addictions are very difficult because they make you do things you don't want to do. But in that moment, if you have the ability to sit and just say, I'm inviting in the light of God right now. I'm just inviting in God's light move through my anxiety. God's light move through the thoughts in my mind. And at first you're going to be like nothing's happening. Just like you can't feel the frequencies coming in. But are they coming in? Mhm. So is God's light coming in? Yeah, just because you can't feel it doesn't mean it's not happening. My recommendation is that you keep doing this for at least a month every single day and see if anything happens. What else do you have? You have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. It's designed to be easy. It's always been easy. That's the divine design of this entire experiment. There's an ease to it. There's a natural design of this. And our natural design in our bodies is to be energetically connected to that light. And a lot of people believe they are. A lot of people believe that it's moving through them, that they are God, that it's all whatever. And it's possible. But if your life isn't changing, if you're not feeling changes in how you are perceiving the world, how you're being in the world, how you're responding in the world, it's probably not coming in yet. When you know it's coming in is when you start to notice yourself just very slightly, just very subtly, starting to just be different in the world. You're just responding differently. You're seeing it differently. You're reacting differently. Things are just subtly changing. And it happens again very slowly, like your hair growing, right? You don't notice your hair growing, then the next thing you know, it's longer. It's the same thing with God when He comes in. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you're not noticing changes within your own inner world, not changes that you're doing, like I'm trying to be more positive, I'm trying to be more loving, when we try to do something, when we try to be better, when we try to be nicer, when we try, that's not the light of God. You see, what's so beautiful about the light of God is that it does it for you. It changes you because it's you. So it comes in and starts to change you from the inside out. Not because you're saying, I'm going to be more compassionate. I'm going to be more loving. I'm going to be more kind. I mean, of course, that's great because then you're at least bringing awareness to the way you want to be in the world. But that's not God activated. When God comes in, you naturally, out of the blue, for no apparent reason, begin to feel these things. And you literally are not trying to. You're not trying to. It's just happening because that's how powerful, potent, and amazing the light of God is. That's the evolution in human consciousness. It's not, we don't do it. God does it. Our aligned connection with God. And then as God moves in more and more, then we make choices over and over again. Am I going to stay on my phone for 7 hours or am I going to go be in nature? Right. So we have to make choices as this light comes in. Does anybody have a question I can answer before we get going? Does anybody have a question about I don't know what I'm sharing? What I kind of share every week? It's a beautiful time to be alive. Beautiful time to be alive. I'm just waiting to see if any questions come in. Has everything that will happen happened already? Well, I mean, that's a trick question. Maddie, that's a trick question because essentially, if you want to go quantum, everything already everything's already done, right? From a much bigger quantum perspective, it's already done. Everything's completed. Um, from our linear perspective, being on the planet in this game, going in linearity, which means uh, uh, there's a time and a space and a continuum. There's a day to day process. It has not happened yet. Um, does it help to go back out in nature to connect to God? Yes, 100 billion%, 100 billion%. But it can be anywhere, anywhere. Um, is it true to say that darkness gets stronger when it sees we are pulling God's light in? Because I have, oops, what happened to that question? I don't know where that question went. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna just pull the question up. Okay, there, that'll be better because I don't know where that question went. How do we pull ourselves together to be around evil or wicked spirits? Do we ask God for protection? Yes. Ask God for protection, the light of God to come in, the armor of God around you. It will. I do that all the time, especially if I know I'm going into a place where there might be weird energies. Um, when you're in a situation where you feel weird energies, just call in the light of God. It's like it's truly magic. Just be like, "I'm calling in the light of God, come in right now. The light of God surround me right now. The light of God move through me right now. The light of God circle me right now." You will start feeling it. It's the best thing in the whole world. Um, Here it is again. Okay, here we go. Okay. Jennifer Corrigan. Is it true to say that darkness gets stronger when it sees we are pulling God's light in? Because I've been experiencing bouts of such darkness that hit me like a ton of bricks. Yes. So I don't like talking too much about this subject. Um I could do a whole master class on this. But yeah, essentially what happens, again, we'll go to the whole conspiracy of like the remote controls, right? It is very true that when they feel bodies connecting into that pure divine light, your body shifts. If we had the ability to see energetic bodies, meaning the bodies through energy, we would be able to see bodies that are anchoring in that pure divine light. And these beings that are controlling everything, they can see it. I know, I know, Lori, that's insane. There's no way. Well, nobody believed that the government destroyed the two twin towers. So, that was nothing compared to this, right? So, yeah, these things happen, you know. Large percentage of the world didn't understand COVID, that that there can be this type of evil, but yes, there is. And so when they know that your body is you got it, oh, they figured it out. That's what happens. It's like, uh-oh, Jennifer figured it out. Okay? I want you to really think about this, Jennifer. I want you to realize that you are figuring it out. Okay? You have the keys to the prison in your hand, but you got to be real, the prison door. But you got to be careful because you don't want to get caught. If you're too loud with the key, the guards are gonna rush in and they're gonna be like, "What are you doing? You can't leave. You got to get back in there." And you're like, "No, I have the keys. I'm getting the heck out of here." Right? And they're gonna do everything they can to keep you in. They're gonna scare you. They're gonna freak you out. There's gonna be voices that are gonna tell you why this isn't true, right? Those are fake keys. Don't you realize when you get out there, it's going to be horrific. You're going to be unsafe. The demonic, dark, parasitic energies come after you when you have figured it out. I'm not trying to make it scary, but this is what happens to a lot of people. And it's a good sign because you're breaking free. And so you want to fight it. You want to fight it, my friend. Literally, like, there's nothing wrong with people. The spiritual community is like, "Well, you shouldn't use the word fight or you shouldn't use the word battle." It's like, no, 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 we are fighting this. And so that gives you power, that gives you strength, it empowers you. Like, you're not getting me. You are not getting me. No. Uh-uh. And you call in the light of God even more. You surround your house with the light of God. I always use Jesus during those moments. I always use Jesus when I feel attacked, always. I pull Jesus in like it's like Jesus come into the space, Jesus get rid of these energies, Jesus surround my house, Jesus surround my bed. There's nights where I fall asleep and I'm like, "Oh, last night I'm like, there are some weird energies peeking their heads over me. And I'm like, Jesus, come in. Jesus, surround me. Jesus, protect me. Jesus, get rid of these energies. And I'm safe. just like that. So you're learning, Jennifer, how to navigate the actual energetic battle we're in that most people don't want to necessarily admit to or talk about. We want to pretend that I just have to stay in a high vibe and everything's great. And that's unfortunately not actually the petri dish. um, to each their own, but yeah, so do that. You want to realize its frequency. Okay, so it's not a person. So even if it feels like it's coming from someone, it's not coming from them. It's infiltrated frequency trying to mess with your mind, mess with your energy field. The other thing you can do is find an oil that you really like, dilute it with water, and spray your house, spray your room, um, so you can kind of clear out the energies. Um, yeah, and just kind of pay attention to um, what your sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the comment. I don't know how to get rid of the comment. Wonder how I get rid of this comment. We're learning something new every day here. There's a really good song called Surrender. Um, Go listen to that song, Jennifer, called Surrender. It's a worship song. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this comment. I have no idea how to do that. Um, I'll just bring another question up. I have to go anyways, but um, frankincense oil. Frankincense oil. Myrrh is really good. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yay, I figured it out. Thanks, Lorie. You're so smart. Good job. Good job. Yay. Myrrh, frankincense, white angelica. Yeah. Yes. Surrounded by Michael W. Smith. It's my go to song right now. It's my go to song. Anyway, there we go. Another one bites the dust. Another showdown. Any other questions? Any other questions before I jump off? In 2 minutes, we have 2 minutes left. I had a dream that I was throwing a remote control device at some beans. Anything works. How do you help someone who's battling addiction energetically? Just be there for them. Just be there for them. That's it. You can't really help someone that's got an addiction. Like they have to do it. But you want to be there for them. You want to be there for them. Um, all right. There we go. What if the most what if the most people in your life make you feel like this? How do you navigate? I don't know what that meant. I don't know what you mean, my friend. Okay. I'm just reading some of the comments. All right, you guys, that's it. I will see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. California time. Hit the thumbs up button because then it will go out to more people, perhaps, maybe, hopefully, cross our fingers, and pass this video on if there's anybody that may resonate with it that you know. Getting the word out slowly but surely, freeing people from it all. I love you guys. I'll see you.